In this short video, we're going to look at some of the Teams voice admin policies that can be set to change our end users' telephony experience. We're also going to review reporting labels, as these are important for troubleshooting and good quality reporting. Reporting labels are used to map user locations to your organization's offices via IP subnets. They are used in both call analytics and the call quality dashboard to identify where a call leg originates and terminates. In the video, the CSV file has column headers to provide some context. A file that you use in production will not have these. To create a label file, download the comma-separated or tab-separated file from Microsoft. You can access the reporting label documentation from the Learn More link in the admin portal. Add your own company subnets and office locations. Then, from the Teams admin portal, upload the file into your tenant. From the Teams admin portal, an administrator can configure group pickup and delegation for every end user enabled by policy for these features. Call group pickup allows other users to answer Christie's phone in the event she is busy or unavailable. In our configuration, we've added both Adele and Alex to Christie's call group. Note that we can configure the end user notification settings to be either ring, mute or banner. We can alter the delay before the call is redirected to the call group, and also configure if Adele and Alex are rung in order or simultaneously. In our delegate configuration for Christie, we've added Megan. As you can see, the administrator can configure whether Megan can make and receive calls on behalf of Christie, and also allow her to alter Christie's call settings. Let's now take a look at Coolpark. Coolpark lets a user put a call on hold. The service then generates a code that can be used by the user who put the call on hold to retrieve the call. Also, any other user in the same Coolpark group can also use the code to retrieve the call. By default, Coolpark is disabled. For a lot of deployments, you will want to enable this, either configure the global policy or add a custom policy that can then be applied to a subset of the user population. For some of our customer deployments, we may want to change the global calling policy or create custom calling policies to apply to specific groups of users. In our deployment, we want everybody to be able to make calls, so we will leave Make Private Calls enabled. We're going to leave simultaneous ringing and call forwarding inside and outside of our tenant enabled, but we could switch it off if necessary. We can also define a policy that dictates if voicemail is available for inbound calls. We will leave ours to be user-defined. In our global policy, we're going to allow inbound calls to be routed to call groups and both inbound and outbound calls to be delegated. In UK deployments, we will most likely leave the Prevent Toll Bypass policy switched off. This setting is linked to location-based routing in Teams, which is aimed at supporting phone system deployments in highly regulated countries. And finally, we will keep Busy on Busy disabled. Contoso doesn't need their inbound callers to receive busy tone if the called number is already in use. The final user-centric voice policy we're going to take a look at is the caller ID policy. In our deployment, we have decided to leave the block incoming caller ID and the ability to override the caller ID policy switched off. We will also leave the caller ID as the user's number, but please note you can change this to anonymous or change it to present a service number. To complete our end user policy overview, let's look quickly at how some of these admin policies are exposed within a Teams client and how they can also be updated and configured directly through the client interface. After we've navigated to Christie's Microsoft Teams client settings, we can click the Delegates button. Christy doesn't support anyone, but she is supported by Megan Bowen. Note that Christy's client reflects the configuration we created in the admin console. From Christy's calls setting, we can also view and change how calls are handled when someone rings Christy or a call is forwarded. Again, the client settings will reflect the admin console configuration. If we subsequently decide to change a particular setting on Christy's client, then it will be mirrored in the Teams admin portal. The next client setting we're going to take a look at is voicemail. As you can see, we can record a greeting or use text-to-speech if we prefer. We can also change a number of parameters to tailor the end user experience, including the greeting language if we desire. Let's now take a look at Alex's Teams client. Note that Alex can see Christy has added him to her call group, and he can easily change his incoming call notifications from his client settings. From Alex's delegate settings, he can see all the people he supports and can also add his own delegates. In the video, Alex shows how he could add Adele to his delegates list if he needed to. Any such configuration would be reflected correctly in the admin portal. To finish off, when we switch to Megan's client, we can see that she supports Christy. When she places a call, she can decide whether it originates from her or Christy.